Newsflash. This week, the Rockstar Principals will be unleashing 3 podcasts instead of the normal 2 episodes. Today's episode features a discussion of Pumpkin Season 2013, social media, and Todd Whitaker's number 5, What Great Principals Do Differently. Rock on with Twisted Steel and School Appeal.
Welcome to the Rockstar Principals Podcast, coming straight to you from Rock and Roll, USA, covering the latest and greatest in educational leadership trends, news, and awesomeness for principals all over the world. Now, here are your hosts, the boss, John Ross, and the Doctor of Proctors, Nick Indeglio.
You know, we heard earlier a commercial about the spiced wafers that you find in this part of the country during the fall season, but there's something that all over the country during the fall is spreading like wildfire. You know, I know pumpkin-flavored things have kind of been around for a long time, but it seems to me like it's really catching on like wildfire. Whether you go to McDonald's or Dunkin Donuts or in the supermarket, there's a million different things that you can get pumpkin-flavored. And I got to be honest, I just don't get it, Nick. I don't get it.
Sad.
I know you're quite the pumpkin aficionado. Please explain this phenomenon to me, if you could.
Well, it started years ago when a giant pumpkin killed my family.
Ever since then, you've been extracting your revenge
on all things pumpkin. Untrue. A few years back, we came upon, my wife and I, this is prior to our first child, we were, believe in a Redner's in Collegeville, Pennsylvania, and we found an Edie's flavor of pumpkin ice cream. And that really started a trend. You know, in my younger days, the big Halloween thing was to find and go to every possible haunted hayride that ever existed. We did a different one every year. We'd travel as far as humanly possible if we needed to, you know, to get a well-reviewed one. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten lazy and fatter, and I like food more. So the love of pumpkin has started. So basically, from the pumpkin ice cream, it evolved to various pumpkin pies, and then for whatever reason, it caught on nationally. And I think Dunkin Donuts is the one really responsible for this. Their pumpkin syrup is the equivalent of liquid meth. It's like Heisenberg's blue meth. It is that good. Not that I've ever tried meth in any shape or form, but it's a miracle of modern flavor incredibleness.
That's quite the endorsement.
Yeah, you know, Starbucks has it as well, but nothing like Dunkin Donuts. With Dunkin Donuts, you can get a hot coffee with pumpkin syrup. And
it sounds like we got the beginnings of another commercial shameless plug.
Dunkin Donuts, yeah. We could go that
throw
direction.
A hashtag DD in there somewhere.
Or iced coffee with pumpkin spice. Or for those Dunkin Donuts that have Baskin Robbins attached, a chocolate milkshake with pumpkin spice flavor in it.
Again, it's good. They taste good. I won't pass on something like that if it's offered to me. But it's one of those things that just I see people go crazy at the whole concept. People posting all over Facebook, all over Twitter. Oh, pumpkin time, whatever. Whatever branch, Dunkin Donuts. My wife last night, we got Dairy Queen. She got the Blizzard, the pumpkin pie Blizzard. Yeah,
pumpkin pie flavored.
Oh,
yeah.
She was going completely. She was in heaven.
Well, as she was enjoying a pumpkin pie Blizzard last night, I was in New York City. We were visiting my brother. We ate at a restaurant close to the new Freedom Tower down by the 9/11 Memorial. I think it was JT Burger was the name of the restaurant, known for their milkshakes. They had a pumpkin pie milkshake that, I kid you not, literally tasted like an ice-cold liquid pumpkin pie. It was that good.
I guess so. I'll take your word for it. So that's our food segment for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you think of any suggestions of future foods, because and at some point I'm going to need to talk about Reese's peanut butter cups, because I think I feel the same way about chocolate and peanut butter.
That's understandable.
Pumpkins.
And I think at some point we also might have to revisit. Our superintendent took us to Baltimore this past spring, late spring, early summer, where
I know where this
John
is going.
consumed something called bacon on a stick.
We'll just leave it at that.
It was really bacon on a stick.
It was delicious.
And now a word from our fake sponsors. But we'd really love if they were our real sponsors. Seriously, we would love it.
So, this is where the evil horde hides out.
The Kite Zone! You put it together like so. He-Man, Hordak, and Man-at-Arms figures each sold separately.
So nice of you to. Stopping for lunch.
The Fright Show. The Fright Show. The Fright Show.
Your overgrown lizard doesn't scare me for that. Oh, no.
The Fright Show. The Fright Zone plays at you from the Evil Horde and Masters of the Universe collection. Action figures each sold separately from Mattel.
We are back. The Rockstar Principals bringing in
Rocket, baby!
Our goal is to be the best podcast on the face of the earth in order
Or at least the best one about principles.
Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds good.
We'll start there.
Start there.
The best principles podcast.
How great would it be to just get us ranked? Let's get us ranked on iTunes. I mean,
That'd be awesome.
We're featured right now in what's hot and what's new.
Yeah.
But to be in like the top 100
Oh, my
podcasts.
goodness. Listen, do us a favor, folks. If nothing else, we're not above begging.
No.
I will beg. Absolutely.
Constantly.
Just take a minute, rate the podcast. 5 would be, phenomenal. 5 stars. You want to go 4?
No, it's got to be 5.
I'm not always at
If
our
it's
top
not
of my
5,
game. I'm willing to admit.
If it's
Nick,
not 5, we're not getting ranked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we need
Okay, well then
5s.
don't. If you can't give us 5 stars, then forget this next part. But, if you've enjoyed any of our episodes, gotten a laugh here and there, maybe learned a few things along the way. I'm drifting into an episode of Fat Albert.
Shed a tear.
We learned a lot along the way. Might be a little too old of a reference for some of you listening. But anyway, give us a rank, 5 stars. Be really, really nice. We'd appreciate it.
Pop open a cold one like this.
Whoa. How'd you make that sound?
Take a
That was
drink.
neat.
I don't care what you're drinking, as long as you're going to rate us a 5.
Right.
Speaking of ratings and iTunes and Twitter and everything else, John, tell the folks what we're going to talk about right now.
Well, kind of an extension in a previous episode of Rockstar Principles podcast. We talked about BYOD, bring your own device, something that we're implementing at our schools this year. And one of the main reasons for doing that, one of the features of having a bring your own device policy, is getting to incorporate social media into your school, into your classroom. And obviously there's a lot of different facets to that, many different layers of social media. And we're not going to spend any time on some of the more obvious things like, teachers shouldn't be Facebook friends with your students. It kind of goes without saying, hopefully.
I think there's. You don't have to be friends, but if you have a special Facebook page that doesn't need to be friended,
You're jumping, you're absolutely.
Sorry, man.
It's scary.
We don't script this stuff. We don't script this stuff. We just go.
Right. So not on your personal Facebook page, but for instance, our schools have Facebook pages. I know a lot of our students like our school Facebook page, and they're able to get information off of our school Facebook page. I've had students, especially during the summer, where they usually go long periods of time. We had kids this past summer that were posting things to our Facebook page, asking questions about when are the schedules coming out, when am I going to find out what teachers I have, when do fall sports start. So Facebook's a great means for doing that. I am absolutely blowing up with Twitter right now. Twitter is growing by leaps and bounds as far as I'm concerned in the information that it provides. And it's kind of gone from a passive to more of an aggressive thing to me. When I first got on Twitter, I would just scroll through the feeds of the people that I was following and passively see what was going on. But now we've discovered that there are quite a few chats that you can join when you're on Twitter just by following a hashtag. And there's several different hashtags. Hashtag EDChat, for example, EdChat. That takes place certain nights of the week. Let's see if I can find that while we're talking here. I know I have a list of all the different chats. But it's a great way to go on and just interact with people all over the country. There's different people that lead those chats. Different people that if you follow them, you might find out more about those chats. But it's just a great way to learn about what's happening in and around the education world. We
even participated in a chat last week that was guest hosted by someone from our district.
That's right.
Justin Staub from the STEM Academy, Dr. Staub. Who was it? EdTech Chat or IA Ed Chat or one of those?
I think it was EdTech Chat, but they were focusing on STEM topics. We have a STEM Academy high school in our district that is really on the forefront in terms of STEM education. Am I clearing my throat a lot tonight? I've noticed I keep clearing my throat. It must be that popcorn that you brought along with you tonight, Dr. Deglio.
Homemade
but
popcorn?
Anyway, that
Homemade
was fantastic.
You want the recipe?
Wonderful job. No, that's okay. You can just keep making it for me. That'd be nice.
Why don't we have that be a commercial? We could do a commercial for that.
For Dr. Indeglio's homemade kettle corn?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right, awesome.
So, where were we? Oh, talking about
Twitter.
STEM education and Twitter and chats that are on there. If you're not on Twitter, how did you find out about us? You must have found out about us through just podcasts. But I think Twitter is a means for us to get our name out there. There's some great people. Obviously, there's the guy that's known as the tweeting principal, Eric Scheninger, who's from New Jersey, I believe. You can find him. He's at NMHS_principal. He's an outstanding principal in terms of social networking and the information that he's able to provide.
Another big one while you're looking there from Education Week. He's called the Edu Podcast or Edu Blogger, Larry Ferlazzo. He participates in a lot of those chats we're on, and he was recently. Yeah, give the handle there first.
At Larry Ferlazzo, LaryFerlazzo. And
his latest book latest ebook talks about ways to. It's Q&As for tough teaching problems, but Daniel Pink, one of my heroes, actually retweeted that, and that's going to be out there hitting a lot of people. So he's got a lot of followers. It's a good one.
Yes. So as principals, getting involved in Twitter is a great thing in terms of just connecting and getting ideas. And I've several times done some things where I've been able to find things on Twitter and bring it back to people, share it with staff members, share it with other principals. It's a great resource that way. But we've had several teachers in my school that have really jumped on board with Twitter. Actually, one of my teachers, Dr. Rook, Rob Rook, I'm going to find his Twitter handle while I'm talking here. He, earlier this year, at our back-to-school night, shared with his parents that he was going to be using Twitter as a means to communicate homework things with the home. So when one of his parents heard that, turns out this parent is a DJ on a local radio station, and they called him and did an interview with him on B101. There, maybe we want to do a shout out to B101. And they interviewed him about using Twitter in the classroom, and he talked about using Twitter to communicate with the families. And he only had a few parents who had signed up. Right now, he's only got 37 followers. Let's change that, Rockstar Principals. Here's his Twitter handle. It's at Robert Rook 1. That's at Robert, and then Rook is RUCH and the number 1. Let's see if we can get some followers for Dr. Rook there. A great guy, great teacher, and somebody who's using Twitter as a means to communicate with families.
Slightly off topic, but not terribly off topic. Last year, the B101 morning show came to our school because Kimberly from the morning show had never seen a snake in person before, and we have one of our teachers who has a lot of snakes, so she was there in person, and I think she wanted to marry me and propose to me, but she might have been a little nervous to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could get.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
I just remember she was really pretty. Really pretty.
Okay, so getting back to the topic at hand, especially in the event that Mrs. Indeglio is listening to the podcast.
I love you, Kimberly.
Social media, and I know a lot of people have hesitation about it, and obviously it's something that you have to be careful as an adult and having kids follow you and having anybody follow you, in terms of what you comment on and what you put out there. So it really is somewhat of creates some nervous Nellies, I know, but it's really just an unbelievable tool for both getting the message out and for gaining message and gaining information that you can bring back and share and make you a better educator and help your school in the long run.
You just used the term nervous Nellies.
I did. Is that... You think that's regional? That's not regional, right? I think everybody across the country is familiar with that. You're just saying it's silly? You're just saying it's a silly term?
Yeah, it's a great term.
I'm a silly boy.
It's alliteration. Nervous Nellies.
Nervous Nellies, right. Yeah. Right, that's true.
Well, you could use technology and we can Google it and find out if it is a regional term or if it goes nationwide.
Yeah. So, that's my thoughts. Any more thoughts there, Dr. Nick, on using social media?
No.
I'm forgetting?
It's the way of the world, and just hop on board the information superhighway. the interwebs, as they like to call it. But what we've been hearing lately in schools is that, Facebook is on the outs as far as the high school and college kids go, and Twitter is the new way. And after participating in these chats for the past couple weeks, I can definitely understand. I'm not sure if we had talked about this, but Twitter is like Facebook on crack. It's faster. It gets the point across quicker. It's just 10 times more in your face. So It's crazy.
Crazy enough. So that'll do it for this segment. I was really looking for more from you there as I'm scrolling through my phone trying to find more people that we follow or that we've because what we're doing here is we're trying to mention people, and then we'll tweet that we mentioned them in our podcast in the hopes that maybe they'll listen, or maybe we'll get a retweet from them, or
let's before we sign off, since you were looking for a little bit more, we were talking a little bit earlier about how we advertise our podcast, and Twitter is definitely one of the main ways that we do that. But in addition, we use a special, we use Liberated Syndication. It's called Libsyn. That's the service that provides our RSS feed, and actually, it with one post, it will send out all of our information to our Facebook page and our followers. It'll send it out via Twitter. It uploads it to iTunes, and from there, we use those social media platforms to advertise ourselves. So it's just amazing. We're reaching thousands of people. Now, it doesn't mean they're all paying attention to what we're putting out there, but we're definitely reaching more than you would back in the old days where you'd advertise via a newspaper, a magazine, or just word of mouth. So it really is phenomenal.
And just thinking about how easy it is to do as well. When you're participating in those chats, just bringing it up on my phone, and I could be sitting watching TV at night, after the kids are in bed or whatever, and doing multitasking. I'm what my kids do already, maybe catching on a little bit with me. Just the ability to, it doesn't take a whole lot when you think back to, some of the early years of the internets and how you would have to do chats, and, you'd have to wait for the dial up and everything like that. It's so doggone easy to do. You have no excuse. If you're not already participating, if you're not on Twitter, just Google Twitter chats, and I'm sure you'll find a bunch of different hashtags, Twitter education chats. Like I said, there's hashtag EdChat, EdTechChat, and a lot of the different states have their own chats as well. It's well worth your time to look into, and you'll thank us. And please do. Please be sure to thank us via a tweet. Give us a mention.
Rating. And the old saying of you're famous or you're more believable if you're from 20 miles or further away from the school you're presenting at.
I've never heard that saying before, but that's brilliant. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Good. So when you and I are in chats, from Iowa, they think the people from Pennsylvania, that we're special or something.
That might be the best part of the Twitter chats.
Yeah.
Is that people actually take us seriously and think that, when we
know
get a
what we're talking about.
we get a retweet in a chat because we, as the saying I use, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, and we'll say something that somebody will like and retweet it. That's a great feeling. So if nothing else, it gives you a little bit of a vindication, a little pat on the back for yourself when somebody gives you a retweet.
For those of you out there who are adept and very good at Twitter and participate in these chats and use your laptop. Wow. Use your laptop and use TweetDeck and things like that to do multiple chats at once. We're the noobs. We're the dorks who, if we get one retweet, we are celebrating.
We do.
And the other funny part was we actually got an FF last week, which we now know means Follow Friday, and it means that someone just liked something we posted enough to, put it out there to the world. When I first saw it, let's
not talk about what you thought it meant.
I screenshotted it, sent it to John, and said, "Hey John, we got an FF." ...
What is that?
What does FF mean?
You find out. One of those things you find out the more you're on here.
But anyway.
All right, wrap it up. Land the plane. Bring it home. Everybody get on Twitter. Get on social media. Teachers too, not just principals. I know there's a lot of teachers listening to us out there. There's a lot of different ways that you can find out skills and things that you can use in your classroom via Twitter as well. Thanks, everybody.
Tweet it. Facebook it. Make it roll.
Rock it.
And now a word from our fake sponsors. But we'd really love if they were our real sponsors. Seriously, we would love it.
Goodness, Nick, this popcorn is so good. Where did you buy this? Who makes this popcorn?
That's not bought popcorn.
What?
That's Homemade popcorn.
Homemade popcorn?
Dr. Nick's homemade kettle corn.
Like you grow the corn in your yard and you get the kernels from the corn in your yard and...
No, that would be like organic and...
Okay, all right. So you buy the popcorn when it's just little corns pre-popped.
Pre-popped.
What do you do from there? That's where you lose me from that point on. I don't know how to make it.
I bought one of those kettle corn stirrers. So it's a pot with the stirrer that moves the stuff around. Mm-hmm. You put in about 3 tablespoons of kernels.
Oh, so good.
3 tablespoons of Crisco.
All right.
Maybe a tad of salt to your liking. Mm-hmm. If you like the kettle corn flavor with the sugar, you want to pick a brown sugar. I find works best. About 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Mix it all up, and then there you have it.
Well, I can't say enough about how great this popcorn is. Only problem is you just told everybody how to make it, so it's kind of going to defeat the purpose of advertising it.
Well, then this is no longer an advertisement. This is recipe time from Nick and John.
Recipe Corner. Welcome back to the Rockstar Principles podcast. And once again, please bow your heads because it is time for the Church of Whitaker. Yes, our weekly dedication to the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Whitaker, in the form of his 18 things that great principles do differently, working our way up to number 18 in the hopes that by the time we reach 18, we will actually get Todd Whitaker on our podcast. But we are up to number 5, and number 5 is, my friends, great principles consistently filter out the negatives that don't matter and share a positive attitude. Brother Nick, any comments on number 5 of the great things principles? The things that great principles do differently, excuse me.
Oh, Brother John, before I can say even a word, the past several What Great Principles Do Differently segments have garnered retweets by the great Todd Whitaker himself. Does that mean he's listening? Not at all. But at the very least, he has seen our tweets.
It's an amazing thing to have that experience. Quite the blessing for us here in the Church of Whitaker to have the man, Todd Whitaker, retweeting our dedications to him. It means so much to us, and we appreciate it a great deal. But getting back to number 5, consistently filter out the negatives that don't matter and share a positive attitude. The thing that I hearken to when I hear this is the saying, when a leader sneezes, the entire faculty catches a cold. You know, if as a leader, if you aren't able to do that, if you're not able to, no matter how bad things are, no matter how rough things are, if you're not able to keep a positive attitude, at the very least, as a front to everyone, to the students, to the staff, to the families, you're going to have a difficult time. Because if you have a negative, if you're down, then the people that you serve are going to be down as well. They're not going to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will.
I think what makes this one particularly difficult, though, when you talk about negatives, and in a sense from what was in the book and other things, it's the negatives that will affect you anyway. They're things you don't necessarily have a lot of control over. But those negatives can also be the people who are in your building. And it becomes difficult because while you do want to keep things positive, those negative people, much like kids, when you bring the positivity, when you're embracing your vision, behavior tends to escalate. And that happens with those negative people as well. So to a degree, they shouldn't matter. We should try to ignore that negativity, right. But if it's going to infect the rest of the staff, it makes it tough. So it's a bit of a conundrum.
Yeah, and you have to gauge it, I think, and you have to make a decision as to whether or not it's reached the point that it needs to be addressed. I know some of the discussion, especially, I'm pretty sure this was Todd Whitaker as well, about focusing on what your best people think and worrying about what your best people think and trying to not put any stock in what the negativity and what the naysayers have to say. It's a constant balancing act because you can't just ignore them all the time. Sometimes you reach a point where you do have to confront them head on, and if you don't, that spreads as well. That will spread like a virus. So it isn't even just exhuming a negative attitude on your part that's bad. If you don't confront other negative attitudes by battling them with your positive attitude, that's not going to bode well for your school either.
And if you need to know how to do that, well, Todd Whitaker's book, Shifting the Monkey,
Absolutely. Great segue, my friend.
can certainly show you how to do that. And that's an excellent book from the Church of the Whitakerians as well. And how great would it be if we had a chance to talk to Todd Whitaker in 2 weeks at PAESSP conference,
Yes,
where he's the keynote speaker.
Pennsylvania Association of Elementary and Secondary School Principals Conference, being held in the end of October in State College, Pennsylvania. Your alma mater, by the way, there, Dr. Nick, Penn State University.
We're going to bring the noise.
We're
in 2
looking
weeks.
forward to it. Yes, we're really looking forward to that conference. As I try to go every year, but I'm really looking forward to it, especially this year with the presence of Todd Whitaker there. So,
And the presence of our future guest, Dr. Dina Wirt.
Dr. Dina Wirt,
recipient of one of this year's National Distinguished Principals Awards. Something you might know a little bit about, John Ross.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But we digress. Let's keep the focus on the Church of Whitaker. And number 5, again, bringing to a close this installment of the Church of Whitaker. Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay tuned to the Rockstar Principles podcast.
Whitakerians.
Thanks for helping RSP top the charts in the Edu podcast world. Keep it real with Twisted Steel and School of Peel.